Welcome back to our hideaway. On the previous episode, we had finished our dock. We used a camo hidden fastener system to attach all of the pressure treated 2x6 boards. Now that that is all snugged up, our next step is going to be adding electrical to the dock itself so that we can plug in our fountain, which we had stolen off the old pond that was filled in, and also our fish lights that we had in the old pond as well. A lot of times you'll see these fish lights in rivers and lakes off the ends of people's docks. They attract the little fish because they bring bugs to the surface of the water, and then the little fish attract the bigger fish, so it kind of creates that cycle of life at night. The reason that I really like them is because when you're sitting on the dock, you can see all the activity in the water from your chair. So it really makes your pond enjoyable not only in the daytime, but also at night when the sun goes down. So that was one of the reasons that we bought them, and we're excited to put them in this pond. The first step in getting electric, though, to the dock is going to be changing out the implements on the tractor, removing the box blade, and then putting on that middle buster. That middle buster hopefully will reach down to about 12 to 16 inches so that we can get the trench dug for the power from the meter base. We're going to be using a flexible conduit and an inline breaker. That's the simplest way to tap into our meter base to get power over to the dock. That distance is only about 50 feet or so it should be a pretty quick process here.
Night I go to town. Well, I'm upstairs with them good time gals, always going down. Yeah, they're always going down. Hold on, baby, just hold on. I'll be coming home, yeah, back where I belong. Baby, won't you hold on one more time, baby? I'm getting right in fooling, twinkling in her eye. Little gas ain't got me yet, but Lord, she loves to try. Oh, Lord, she done try. Hold on, baby, just hold on. I'll be coming home, baby, back where I belong with you, baby. Hold on, baby, just hold. Won't you hold on? I said, baby, just hold on.
In less than 30 minutes, I was able to dig that middle buster down about 13 or 14 inches deep. And then now I'm just clearing all the excess dirt that falls back into the trench as you make your passes. I'm shoveling that back out on the side so that we can maintain the deepest depth possible for our conduit to sit in. I often contemplate how in the world I made it as long as I did without a tractor. If you are ever on the fence about whether or not you need a tractor, the answer is you need a tractor. You just got to figure out what size best fits your needs. whenever I get out of breath and exhausted from doing manual labor like what I'm doing now, I get the chance to look up and see everything that manual labor has brought to us. Sure, it takes money, but a lot of times it takes more work than it takes money. It's very refreshing to see all the little inputs that we've put along the way and what they've created. And me being more of a visionary person, it makes me ambitious for all the things that we still have yet to do and excited to start those projects as well. I know we're lucky to be out here, and we talk about it just about every day. Unraveling the flexible conduit was a chore, to say the least. One of the problems with that flexible conduit is it comes in a roll for distribution purposes, but then you have to unroll it, and unless it's a hot day, it's not very malleable. It doesn't want to come out of the shape that it's been packaged in for probably 6 months or more. So it's very hard to get it to actually lay flat, but it does have a lot of benefits, and the biggest one that I wanted it for was it's watertight. There are no penetrations, there are no, couplers or junction points like there is with standard conduit in a flexible conduit. I also liked how I could simply throw it in the back of the car and drive it home versus having to use a bunch of sticks to stick out the back of the truck. And it turned out to be cheaper. It was on sale when I bought it, but it turned out to be cheaper than conduit sticks were. Conduit sticks have gone up significantly over the past year or so if you've paid attention to consumer prices for electronic products. With that said, the next step in getting this all unraveled was to get it pulled nice and tight and then do the same with the wire. Once the wire was pulled tight next to it and I had my links, I sent what they call fish tape through, and that's what this is right here. It's a long metal, I don't want to call it a rod because it's not a rod. It's hard to explain, but it's just a piece of thin metal that has a little hook or clip on the end of it. You can see that I wrapped electrical tape through it. You use the fish tape to push all the way through either this pipe or another pipe or a tight opening when you're trying to fish wire. And then it doesn't bend over like wire does when you're trying to get it through a tight spot. It just keeps sliding through, and then you can basically pull it instead of having to push a wire through because you can't grab it on the other end yet, still in the pipe. You're able to push this all the way through and then reel it back in like kind of like you're fishing. So anyway, that's what I'm doing now. It is still a difficult job with one person. I will say I had to get my wife to come out and help me because as you pull, it does want to grab that conduit because the flexible conduit is kind of sticky. Unlike normal conduit, the flexible conduit does have that grip to it, so the casing around the wire was wanting to grab that flexible conduit and pull it with it. So I had to have my wife holding the flexible conduit in place as I pulled the wire through with the fish tape. Did get it dug and in, about to rebury it, but it will be dark. Got our stub out, our post, our outlet, and then our fish lights and the fountain. About to backfill this with that tractor bucket. Quick work of it. What we've got is a den rail, and then this is our sub panel off of the main panel. That one goes to the shop in the house one day. This one goes to the cabin. Since it's a little bit closer, we're gonna tie into this one. As you can see, plus the trench we dug yesterday. I got a 30 amp breaker. I think it's called a QOU or a QO Mini, but basically it can be mounted inside of a sub panel. It doesn't have to be on a breaker. Mounted this up just a minute ago. Thought the phone was recording and it wasn't, so I apologize. Got that ran, and then that conduit along that side, all inside that flex tube, and then trenched underground with that tractor. Ran into here. So pretty simple. Got a 10-2 wire. If you're gonna go with a 30 amp breaker, you want 10-2 or bigger. You know, if you do a 20 amp, you can get away with your 12, and then the standard is then if you have light switches and whatnot, no outlets but light switches, you would want a 15 amp breaker for any 14 gauge wire. So I have 10-2 here for the 30 amp. Like I said, it has a mounting solution, so you can see how that just snaps in there, and then you have a hot out and a hot in, and then the rest just goes straight to the plug. So it's a pretty simple concept without having to put a pull panel out here. But yeah, we're about to tie those together. The hot's here, neutral there, and then the ground is over here. And this will snap in just like that. And then we'll have a normal on and off, just like you would any other breaker. So I'm gonna get after this. sure a handful of you have already noticed, but I pretty much wear these rubber boots now everywhere I go outside on our property. The reason for that is because I trashed those Brooks number 5 shoes, as we saw in a previous episode. So I got these rubber boots and I wear them pretty much everywhere because we had this 2-acre pond added. They added about 1.5 acres to 2 acres of rolling hills, which has not had any vegetation grow on it yet. And then they filled in our old 1/2-acre pond. So we have a lot of mud around our property with this rain that we've been getting. So this is the only sure way to not destroy any other footwear that we have. So you'll see me wearing these a lot. This wraps up the install for running power out to the pond. We did a 2-gang unit out here on this post. We figured that would be more than enough. We'll probably only end up using 2 of those outlets, one for the fish lights and one for the fountain itself. But it would be nice to have those extra 2 out here, so we went ahead and wired them in as well. We appreciate you guys watching our videos. On the next episode, we'll be setting the fish lights as well as setting the fountain. I look forward to catching up with you guys then, and thanks again for watching.